You're listening to KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas, the voice of the people, voted best radio station for music 2 years in a row by the Dallas Observer.
Did you know that KNON podcasts all of its local talk shows? KNON has local talk, each show covering your community in its own unique way. So if you missed one of our great morning talk shows, you can go back and listen to it online. We keep the shows for 2 months so you can hear everything you have been missing out on. Visit KNON.org for more information about the KNON Morning Talk Shows podcast. Also available on iTunes.
Yo, what's up? I'ma kick it with the line, y'all know. Yo, Slim, can I kick it like this? Here we go. Well, it's time to make that change. People of the world today are fading. All of us have our ups and downs. You better think about it or you won't be around. What we need is a little bit of love, sent by one from heaven up above. Chicken for tea is simple and plain. This ain't no game, you know what I'm saying? What? Yep.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm Marion Barnett Jr., your host this morning, filling in for Marion Barnett Sr., who's out of town. Got a lot of things to talk about this morning. It's the first Saturday where there was the presidential election, and we got our results in, and we want to take some time to talk about it this morning. We did re-elect President Obama, so I want to say congratulations. Give us a call at 214-647-1893, 214-647-1893. Got a lot of things to talk about. Also, some local elections going on. Also, the community, our youth. We always love to talk about our youth and some solutions to our youth. So give us a call, 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. We listening for the line for Greg Barber to call in for our jobs and solutions. So give us a call again at 972-647-1893. I think we already got one call coming in, but we'll put that person on hold and give us one moment. We're up against a short break, so give us one moment. 972-647-1893. We'll be right back.
Community radio provides the kind of programming you won't find anywhere else on the dial. Nowhere else can you find such a variety of formats and personalities in North Texas as on KNON. But this is only possible through the support of our listeners. KNON depends on listener support to stay on the air. Now is the time for you to help keep this show on the air. This pledge drive will continue until the station reaches its goal. If you're waiting out the pledge drive, you might be waiting out the existence of this show on KNON too. So don't wait for someone else to do it. Without the support of people like you, there wouldn't be any community radio on the air in North Texas. So take a few minutes and make a pledge. 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893 to keep your favorite programs on KNON.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're back at Church Information in Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett Jr., your host, filling in for Marion Barnett Sr., who's out of town. Got a lot of things to talk about this morning again. The election, this first Saturday after the election. How did your employers treat you when you came to work Wednesday morning? Give us a call and talk about it. So, also, the lack of direction our people are going in. Just locally, we had our local elections, and some certain things went our way, certain things didn't. Just give us a call and talk to us about it. The number to reach is 972-647-1893. Also, we up against the pledge drive. Make sure you call in and give your pledge. Make sure we keep Marion Barnett Sr. on this show. We need him on to stay on to speak for the people. One of the few shows where you can call in and kind of say what you want. Just this year in 2012 alone, we lost 9 shows. So don't let this show be the next one to go. So make sure you call in with your tax deductible pledge. It is tax deductible, so you get your money back. All right. So give us a call, 972-647-1893, 1893. Let's go to the phone line real quick. We're on line 1. We have Papa. Papa, how you doing?
Good morning, Brother Barnett. How you doing?
Doing good this morning. How's everything going?
Oh, so far so good on this stand. I'd just like to make a comment about the president. I would like to say that I'm glad that President Obama won again. I know a lot of people were mad. A lot of people wanted the, one of the rich guys to win, and they actually thought it was better for him, which was interesting to me. I don't really understand the concept of a poor Republican. Now, if you're rich, I understand. You don't want to pay that much in taxes. But as far as a poor person that are against, a president that are trying to implement things that will help you for your future and help out your grandma. Those are one of the things I just don't understand.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for calling in. It's one of those things that many of us have a hard time dealing with. I see a lot of African Americans who were on TV who voted for Governor Romney, and they had their particular views as whether it be for his comments about gays and lesbians with marriage, or whether it be about the economy. So thank you for your call and comment. On line 3, we have Joe coming in. Joe, good morning, Joe.
Hey, how you doing, Reverend Barnett? Look, I'm saying, Reverend, you are Reverend Barnett's son, right?
Yeah, I'm Junior. Yeah, he's out of town.
Do you preach? Do you preach?
No, sir, I don't.
Well, let me ask you, do you lie? Answer me. Talk to me like your daddy. Do you lie?
Oh, we've lied.
But you're not. But you're going to stop lying, right?
Hey, we do our best every day.
You're going to turn over a new leaf. You're going to be better than your daddy, right?
I'll do my best.
Hey, I'm going to tell him that you say you're not going to drop the bloodstained banner, you're not going to mess up the family name, all right?
I won't do it.
Hey, don't let me down now. I'm going to make a play for $20 to run that show, okay?
Okay, good.
Hey, I ain't scared of you. I'm telling you right now. I ain't scared of you. Look, couple of quick things, because I know other people want to call, but I'm so glad that silly season is over. Talking about the election season. I'm so glad it's over. I'm even gladder or prouder that money couldn't buy the election. They tried to buy it. The Koch brothers sent in millions of billions. Karl Rove had wasted just millions and millions of people money. But it's living proof that God will not bless a mess. I won't say that again now. This was living proof that God will not bless a mess. The other side was totally full of mess for the most part. And they still are complaining and lying. Do you know that these silly people are still counting votes down in Florida? Man, yeah. What's wrong with this silly mess? That's how they stole the election from Gore with all that kind of mess. They are still making fools out of themselves, but as I say again, they can continue because they just have made a laughing stock of themselves. God certainly won't bless a mess. It just won't be. God is not into that kind of stuff. The Sandusky's, I want to talk about the preachers a little bit because I have a problem with a lot of preachers. Your dad's a preacher, right. But I think he's one of the better ones. The preachers have a lot of work to do, and I see a lot of them get in the pulpit on Sundays. I like to visit churches, and they preach what I call ain't God good sermon. That ain't really about nothing. Now, don't get me wrong now. Some people need ain't God good sermon. And, when you don't prepare anything, you sit around and do whatever you do, and you jump up on Sunday morning and knock the dust off your Bible, knock the dust off your head, and run into church and get up. I woke up this morning in church, and my legs move. Ain't God good?
Ain't God good.
I got up this morning, and my phalanges move. My eyes work. Ain't God good? I woke up in my right mind. That's nothing. You ain't doing nothing. All you basically are telling the congregation that I'm too sorry to prepare a sermon. Now, don't get me wrong, as I say again, when I say these type of things, I anger people. They say, well, baby, some folks need that. They need to be reminded. That is true, but I don't need that. I know God is good. I know when my legs move. I know God is responsible. I know that I plays a part in that because I get my vitamins, I eat decent and help my legs move, but I know God is the reason for all of that. But when you get up and do that kind of stuff, you are sorry for the most part. You've not prepared a sermon. And all this homosexuality in these churches and stuff, and these preachers, a lot of them, they won't educate themselves so they know how to preach this stuff and work towards some type of rectification. And it goes beyond that. A lot of preachers won't touch a lot of subjects in church, and they love to preach ain't God good because it's safe, especially for ignorant people, preachers who have not studied to show thyself approval. And because they know if they touch on some of this stuff and they haven't prepared themselves well to teach it, they will anger the minister of music. He'll get up and switch out of church, then there go your choir. And a lot of these churches that are successful, they all have good choirs. We wouldn't have, and I'm almost finished because I know that other people want to call it, we wouldn't have the Sandusky's and what have you if we had preachers helping and doing more, and parent or what have you. Victim number one say that Sandusky bought his first bicycle. Victim number one says Sandusky taught him to shoot his first BB gun. Where were the preachers? Where were the parents? Where were the aunties? Where were the grandparents? Where were the neighbors and what have you? We got to stop making excuses, and we got to step up to the plate, and each one teach one. And these preachers can lead the way. The preachers don't get along with one another. They don't get along. Matter of fact, if you check your Bible, you will clearly see that Jesus Christ didn't care for church people. Now, I know it's going to probably shock you and a lot of other people who are untrained. Jesus Christ didn't care for church people, and church people hated Jesus Christ. They thought he was out of tune and out of line. They treated him so bad, and in the synagogue, and they tried to talk to him and told him to let them. Jesus had to go out in the village and community. He was accepted by criminals, by prostitutes, by people with leprosy and sickness, this type of thing, because the church folks didn't accept him. Okay. And they finally sent out word, if you see this man in the community with that healing mask and telling people about their future, we want you to arrest him and drag him into us. We're going to do it. We know that in that tune they finally kill it. But in closing, we need to, in these little churches, do a lot more. And a lot of them out in front of Kroger selling cupcakes and potato pies for these little old churches that they've had a mortgage for 40 years. The church didn't cost but $25,000. That is ridiculous because all you're doing is messing up people's money when you do that kind of stuff. How could you have a mortgage note on a little old building for 45 years and the church didn't cost but $25,000? Have a good day and go fix.
All right, thank you, Joe. Hold the line 1 second for your tax deductible pledge. All right, we're up against Greg Barber. Let's bring line one. Greg Barber. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning.
Good. Are there any jobs out there?
There are some jobs out here this morning on our SHP job line. Our SHP job line is supposed to be every Saturday morning during church information and open forum here on KNON 89.3, the voice of the people. This morning on the job line, we have Solar Turbines Incorporated looking for warehouse representatives. They're asking you to apply online at www.solarturbines.com. Once again, that's www.solarturbines.com. Uline is looking for warehouse associates. They're asking you to apply online at www.uline.com. Once again, that's Uline is looking for warehouse associates. They're asking you to apply online at www.uline.com. Transportation Security Authority is looking for transportation security officers. They're asking you, the number for inquiry is 1-877-872-7990. Once again, the Transportation Authority for Transportation Security Officers. The number for inquiry is 877-872-7990. NS Services is looking for dry vent cleaners. They're asking you must have reliable transportation, either a truck, van, or SUV. No experience necessary. They will train you. Number for inquiry is 800-903-4103. Once again, that's NS Services is looking for dry vent cleaners. Must have reliable transportation. No experience necessary. They will train you. The number for inquiry is 800-903-4103. Porcelanosa is looking for customer service representatives and warehouse representatives. They're asking you to apply online at www.porcelanosa. That's KNOSA-USA.com. Once again, that web address is Porcelanosa is looking for customer service representatives and warehouse representatives. The number, they're asking you to apply online at www.porcelanosa, PORCELANOSA-USA.com. If you are a child-loving patient, an energetic individual, and would like to work in a daycare setting, number for inquiry is 972-290-4995. Once again, if you are a child-loving patient, an energetic individual, and would like to work in a daycare setting, number for inquiry is 972-290-4995. If you are a person affected by addiction and need assistance with your recovery efforts, or an ex-offender trying to make the transition back to mainstream society and need assistance with job searches, the number for inquiry is 214-634-2722. Once again, if you are a person affected by addiction and need assistance with your recovery efforts, or an ex-offender trying to make that transition back into mainstream society and need assistance with job searches, number for inquiry is 214-634-2722. Today is a good day if you're looking for a job to find one. Let me repeat that. Today is a good day if you're looking for a job to find one. Today is also a great day to make a pledge to church information in open forum and follow through with it. Today is also a great day to make a pledge to church information in open forum and follow through with it. The late, great Bob Marley once said, get up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Despite whoever you voted for, the key is that you got out and voted. The key is that you got out and voted. Let your voice be known. Let your voice be heard. It is your civic duty. Not only a right, it is your civic duty to get out and vote and let your voice be heard. Too many lives have been lost, too much bloodshed, too much fighting has gone on to get you that civil right, not to exercise it and use it well. And with that, we bring our SAT job line to a close.
All right, thank you. Good job as always, Greg. I really do appreciate you calling in.
All right.
Thank you. All right, let's get back to it. I want to thank Mr. Oscar McCraney for your tax-deductible pledge and Mr. Joe Thomas for your tax-deductible pledge. Thank you as always. Do not forget, we are up against our tax-deductible pledges. The number to call is 972-643-1893. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. And we up against a short break. We'll be right back.
Community radio provides the kind of programming you won't find anywhere else on the dial. Nowhere else can you find such a variety of formats and personalities in North Texas as on KNON. But this is only possible through the support of our listeners. KNON depends on listener support to stay on the air. Now is the time for you to help keep this show on the air. This pledge drive will continue until the station reaches its goal. If you're waiting out the pledge drive, you might be waiting out the existence of this show on KNON too. So don't wait for someone else to do it. Without the support of people like you, there wouldn't be any community radio on the air in North Texas. So take a few minutes and make a pledge. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893 to keep your favorite programs on KNON.
Want to hear some great Texas blues? KNON has the CD for you. KNON's Texas Blues Radio Volume 5, our latest blues compilation CD to benefit community radio, sponsored by Forever Young Records. This CD features 15 tracks and 60 minutes of great original Dallas-Fort Worth blues from Tutu Jones, Blues Boy Bo, Buddy Whittington, Andrea Dawson, Kirkland James, Sonny Colley, Johnny Red and the Roosters, the Chris Watson Band, the Two-Tones, the Rough Cut Blues Band, Jeff Stone and Charlie Love, Dave Millsap, Sirloin and the Ass-Kicking Machine, Michael J. and the Paul Bird Band, and JJ and the Detonators. We're only selling 1,000 copies and it will never be reissued. Get your copy now at Forever Young Records in Grand Prairie, Record Town in Fort Worth, and in Dallas at Bill's Records and Rewind Music. The CD is available as an MP3 download at KNON.org. All the proceeds benefit community radio, KNON. For more info on Texas Blues Radio Volume 5, visit us at KNON.org. Get your copy now and hear some real Texas blues. Your ears will thank you for it.
Blue Lisa's annual Thanksgiving live broadcast will be happening on Thursday, November 22nd from 9 a.m. till noon, and you're invited. Join Lisa and special guests Reverend K.M. Williams, KNON's own Greg A. Smith and J. Mack, and Jackie Donlow for the live broadcast and Thanksgiving breakfast from the Alligator Cafe. It's happening at the KNON Studios, located at 5353 Maple Avenue at Butler in Dallas, and seating is very limited, so get your tickets now at KNON.org. Come join Blue Lisa, Reverend K.M. Williams, Greg A. Smith, J. Mack, and Jackie Donlow for this great Thanksgiving tradition on Thursday, November 22nd from 9 a.m. till noon for the live broadcast. This is a KNON benefit event.
And just added Kirkland James.
All right, welcome back. I'm Marion Barnett Jr., your host this morning. This is Church Information in Open Forum, where you, the listener, are in charge today. You, the listener, are in charge. And we give us a call and comment, and let's dialogue. Let's talk. Let's talk about the election. Let's talk about locally. Let's talk about any issues that's going on that you want to talk about. Again, I want to give a special shout out to Oscar McCraney and Joe Thomas for calling in with their tax deductible pledge. This morning we're just going to kind of dialogue. It's your show this morning. I'm just listening and offer some opinions, okay? Let's go to the lines real quick. On line 4 we have Terrence. Good morning, Terrence. Terrence?
Hello?
Yes, good morning, Terrence. How are you?
No, this is Curtis.
Curtis. Okay, Curtis, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good.
You're doing a great job, brother. It's the first time I've heard you, but you are hanging in there, and I'm sure you're going to continue on to do great things.
Okay.
Listen, first of all, I do have a tax deductible pledge, so I'm going to hang on the line. I always support Pastor Barnett. He's a great friend of mine and a mentor, so I'm looking forward to meeting you as well. Okay. Well, listen, I have a quick scenario I want to give you, and I want you to give me your opinion on it. I'm going to try to be as brief as I possibly can. I want to tell you about a situation with a young man that is in a foreign prison, and he's caught up in this foreign prison in deplorable situation. Water's bad, food's bad. He can't speak any of the language. He's not able to talk to his parents, not able to talk to his wife and his children. And he's in this deplorable situation, and he's an American citizen. And he's been locked up for 5 months. 5 months in this foreign prison. I want to ask you this question, brother. Do you have any kids?
I do.
Could you imagine that being your son?
I couldn't imagine. You are referring to the young man in Mexico?
And if that is your son, what would you want people to do?
I want you to get out there and assist, especially our own.
Well, I've been told that this has been going. Everybody's been telling me that we have to wait till after the election. Brother, I'm an election judge. We went out and we did our job. We done what we said we were going to do. We've elected a president, and we re-elected our president. Now it's time for us as citizens to go to work. We need to get this man home for Thanksgiving. I don't know what we need to do. It's not my fight. It's our fight. We all need to get together and get this man home. So I'm begging and I'm pleading to your listening audience and you as well. We need to stop talking so much and let's start doing something. If you have ideas, then let's get together and let's put those ideas together. This is not Curtis's fight. This is all of our fights, because this young man could have been your son, could have been your daughter. Matter of fact, it could have been me and you. And we would have wanted somebody to do something as opposed to talking about it. So I'm going to go back with the slogan that KNON always uses, as we're not just the voice of the people, we're the action of the people. We can call in with all these great conversations, but when it comes down to it, we've got to be the action. And I'm just begging folks to care enough about, show some love, and if you got an idea, then let's put it together. I don't know what to do. I've talked to Congress people, I've talked to lawyers, I've talked to attorneys, I've talked to pastors. I'm encouraging you, not you, just you personally. I'm encouraging all of our listening audience, do something. You do something. Be a part of saying we brought this brother home. It is our fight. We need to do something. If it was your son, your daughter, if it was you, you would want somebody to do something to help them. So don't wait on somebody else to do something. You do something.
And now, Curtis, I noticed that I've heard this on the news several times before. What are the reasons that they're giving you guys that they can't let them go?
There is no reason. I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. They're extorting his family. This man is a poor man from Oak Cliff that has no money. All he did was went to work. Got up one day, and he went to his job. He's a truck driver. His boss gave him a run to make and gave him a manifest. If anybody's out there a truck driver, you know what a manifest is. And the manifest told him to drive to Arizona. Well, he made the wrong turn going to Arizona, went to Mexico. He got to Mexico, he couldn't turn around. He wasn't doing anything illegal. He just got caught up in the wrong place. And I know people are judging and saying, well, he had guns on the truck. Sure, he had guns on the truck. He didn't it wasn't something that he was doing on his own. He was just going to work. He did what he was told to do. He got caught up in a bad situation. That does not make it right for him or make it wrong for him, but it's making it wrong for him. And his family has been locked up away from him for 5 months in deplorable situations. Not being able to talk. You don't know what those Hispanics are coming in there saying to him. You don't know they may even come in there and torturing him. We don't even know. Nobody even cares enough to go and check on him. He's just there for 5 months. Brother, if I was there, I would want somebody screaming and hollering. Your dad can tell you I call this show every week. I call him off the air, and I'm pleading with him. I'm pleading with the citizens of Dallas to please try and get this black man home.
Okay. Is there somewhere we can go to sign up to protest, boycott the city?
Well, that's the thing. No one, Pastor, well, not Pastor, my good friend Reverend Wright is leading the charge. He's one of the activists, along with myself, that's out trying to get this brother home. We talked to the mother. There is Chase thinks there is a fund that's set up to get him out. I heard this brother talk about a lot of preachers earlier prior to me coming on the air. I mean, really, if you really want to know, there's enough churches around that can really go pay the money. But I don't know why we should have to go pay money to a foreign country where we bring in all these people constantly in our city and let them work, take our jobs, and they're illegal. They rape our women and do it. And I don't want to fight the Mexicans. I'm just saying I don't understand in this country how we can allow illegal people to come to our country, do what they want to do, and we send them back to Mexico. Ain't no problem. But one of our own get caught up over in Mexico, and everybody's talking about black power, but yet we're not trying to go and help our own. The question has been asked to me, and I appreciate you dialoguing with me. I don't know what we need to do. I really don't. I'm not an attorney. I'm just an activist. I don't know what needs to be done. I was told we need to talk to Congresswoman Johnson. I did that. I was told we need to talk to his attorney. I did that. Reverend Wright wrote a letter to the state to Miss Hillary Clinton. He did that. So we're running out of ideas. So I'm giving it to the community. If you be smarter than us, because we're not smart, obviously, because the man is still up. There is no boycott because I've heard your father say this a couple of times. These are tough economic times. We can't make truck drivers go and stop doing their work to try to get this guy out. These guys have runs to make. They have jobs. We can't tell them to go down there and flood Mexico, and because if they did that, they'd lose their jobs, and Mexico would simply move the trucks. We don't know what to do. So if you have ideas, I encourage you to come up with some ideas and to help us get this man home.
Okay, thank you for your call and coming, Curtis.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Again, if you have any ideas, please give the show a call at 972-647-1893. If you got any ideas on what to do, if you want to get together with Reverend Ronald Wright and Curtis, give the show a call, 972-647-1893. And do not forget, we This is we need your funds. We need your pledges, your tax deductible pledges. So give us a call at 972-647-1893. We already had Oscar McCraney and Joe Thomas call in with their tax deductible pledge. Want to say thank you to those gentlemen. And
hey, Cecil. Hopefully everyone's listening online, but the tower has gone down, so you may be having a little bit of trouble picking us up. So if you can hear us, please go to KNON.org and tune in there. The engineer's on his way out to the tower to fix it right now.
Okay, so if you can hear us, if you can listen and it's kind of going out, please go to KNON.org. KNON.org to listen online. But please call back with those tax deductible pledges at 972-647-1893. Let's go to line one and say good morning to Ike. Good morning, Ike.
Good morning.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great. I'd like to make a comment with something you said earlier that I really do appreciate. And somebody asked you, were you a pastor or a preacher? And you said you just filling in for your dad on this program, and that resonated with me because I'm a minister myself, and I see where so many ministers, their children are inheriting the churches, and a lot of churches are being destroyed from a lack of leadership, and because it was passed on and not a calling from above. So I just wanted to make that comment, but I'm not saying that you won't have a calling on your life, just saying that at least you acknowledge that at this point you just filling in on the radio program, because I just appreciate that. But I just want to say this about the election. We got a new president, which is the same old president we had for 4 years. And my personal opinion, we missed a great opportunity the last 4 years that we need to try to take advantage of this time and we need to start holding our local and our state representatives. We need to start holding these people responsible and accountable for things we need to get changed, because the president can't change everything by himself. He's dealing with the party of no. And I'm saying that to say this, I've seen incidents when I know that Curtis is kind of upset about what's going on with the young man in Mexico, but right here in our own United States, we got so many people, especially young black men and women and Hispanics that's incarcerated, and they're getting out on DNA testing, but it's a lot of people being wrongfully incarcerated right here in the United States, and because of the laws, we've been reading stories in the newspaper about prosecutors who send people to the pen and they withheld evidence that would have freed the man, and man spent 20-some years in the pen, and then the prosecutor only gets a slap on the hand. So we got to do something to get something in place to change these kind of policies and laws, because I think right here in Texas, there's nothing in place to prosecute a prosecutor. Right. They got immunity. So, and I said I went to jury duty, and it was a judge sitting over the trial, and he was a retired judge. They just brought him back in because of an overload of cases. And my thing in question was to him in the court, well, we had an election to get rid of a lot of bad judges, so you can retire and still work for the county. Well, if you don't get elected, you can't work. So all this kind of stuff needs to be addressed by people we have voted for and put in office. And I'm not going to stay on the radio long because I don't want to take up somebody else's time. But we need to do something about these kind of things and hold these people accountable. We got a lot of chaos going on right here in our own city, in our own neighborhoods, and appreciate you taking my call.
Oh, no problem. Thank you, Ike. Thank you for calling in. And just to piggyback on what Ike was saying, to Curtis' defense, I feel like he's fighting a good fight. But if we can come up with a day and time and a place, if someone has a place where we can all come up with a day and time, because I hear many people, I listen to the show myself, and I hear many people call in and they're with their concerns. And if we can come up with a day and time where we can all sit down and meet and talk in person and come up with a plan, an actual plan, a solution to the problems, or just a start, I think that'll be great. If you can call in with that, a solution or a start or a day and time we can meet and give us the place. I talk to a lot of young men, and I mentor, and I do a lot of things with people that are active. And then many people have solutions, but we need to bring them together. Let's bring our solutions together so we can attack the issues. And some of the issues are similar, such as the prison situation here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, as well as the young man in Mexico, because he is a resident of this area, and he was just doing his job. So all of the issues are similar, and we can kind of start attacking one after another. Again, I'm a part of a group called Managers of Manhood, where that's what we typically do, and I want to chime in on that and give them their just due, because they do an outstanding job. As of today, we're doing a diabetes walk again at the ballpark in Arlington. That's at the baseball field in Arlington, starting at 9:30. But if you want to donate to that, the website for that is main.diabetes.org, main.diabetes.org. Or you can call 214-732-6270, 214-732-6270. But keep your calls coming in. We can take one or two more calls before the break, but keep your calls coming in, and do not forget about the pledge. The number here is 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. Please call your tax-deductible pledge in. We don't want this show to go off the air. This is your opportunity. This is where you speak. Again, in 2012, KNON lost 9 shows, so don't let this be the next one. Moved it to Saturdays, gave you two hours, a little extra time to talk and express your feelings. This is the first Saturday after the election, whether it be locally, presidential, and there's a lot of issues going on in the area. So this is your opportunity to call in, express your feelings, express what you have to think. The show is not about me, okay? The show is about the voice of the people, all right? So do not forget to call in your pledge, 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. You make the difference. Don't sit on the fence. So call in. We're up against a short break, and we'll be right back. This is Church Information in Open Forum. Thank you.
J-Mac of KNON's Monday Evening Blues Show is celebrating 25 years on the air here at KNON with a big party on Sunday, November 18th at Poor David's Pub. Joining J-Mac in the celebration are his great friends, the Texas Slim Trio, and Jason Elmore and Hoodoo Witch. There'll be a free dinner from Vito's Brisket Tacos, Rice and Beans. The doors will be at 5 p.m. for an evening of some of the best blues and brisket tacos this side of the Trinity River. It's going to be a party you don't want to miss. Who knows who may show up and sit in? Tickets available now at KNON.org, Bill's Records, and Forever Young Records. That's J-Mac's 25th anniversary party with the Texas Slim Trio and Jason Elmore and Hoodoo Witch on Sunday, November 18th at Poor David's Pub, located at 1313 South Lamar in Dallas.
It hurt me so bad, cut like a knife.
Sparky's Pals presents the 3rd annual Plano Pet Palooza, scheduled for Saturday, November 10th, 2012 at the Plano Animal Shelter, 4028 West Plano Parkway in Plano. Pet Palooza is from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. Plano Pet Palooza is an annual celebration of Plano families and their relationships with their pets. Held at the Plano Animal Shelter, it is a day for pet owners to meet other pet owners, visit pet-related businesses, and see pet demonstrations. It is also a chance for those who have not found their forever friend to meet him at the shelter.
Senior Care Centers Dallas Health and Rehabilitation provides 24-hour skilled nursing services, offers occupational, speech, and physical therapy, bilingual staff available, and has served the South Dallas community close to 40 years. They accept Medicare, Medicaid, provide private insurance, Medicaid pending. They are located at 2815 Martin Luther King Boulevard in Dallas. And on Saturday, December the 1st at 12 p.m., the Senior Care Center will host a community open house gospel festival featuring the Angelic Shaw Sisters, Us Three the Trinity, Deidre Else, Osa McGee III, C.E. Williams, and the Tones of Glory Gospel Quartet and Band. Hosted by Greg A. Smith. For information, Sidney Taylor at 214-421-2159. 214-421-2159.
All right, welcome back. I'm Marion Barnett Jr., your host, filling in this morning for Marion Barnett Sr. He'll be back next Saturday. He's out of town. We're talking about the election this morning. We're talking about local issues this morning. We're talking about plenty of things, talking about solutions and actions. I want to say Thank you to Miss Joyce White and Miss Kleberg for their tax-deductible pledge this morning. Thank you so much. And let's go to the line. Let's say good morning to Miss Joyce White on line 3. Good morning, Joyce.
Good morning, Reverend.
No, this is not
Reverend,
the Reverend.
I was. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay. I was in my car and I couldn't call you when you said that a lot of these pastors do not study and they just get up and they're thanking God for the for the activity of their limbs and yada yada, and then they start hooping, and the congregation is said preacher said. He's not saying anything, and the Bible says if you preach not the gospel, woe be unto you. Mm-hmm. He's ignorant and unlearned, and he's teaching the people. The people are ignorant and unlearned, and that is a sad, sad thing.
Okay.
You were saying that. I was in the car. I was saying, Lord Jesus, I started shouting. I said, if he never say anything else, he's already preached this morning. Because we have to study. I'm a minister. We have to study to teach the people. I work with domestic violence and the ex-offenders, drugs and alcohol, and been delivered from all of it. I know God can deliver, but you have to be taught. You have to be taught. I love what you and your dad is doing. I think it's just, I don't even have the words. But when you said that this morning, that was a word all by itself. I'm so grateful that I'm in a church where the word is rightly divided, taught, and preached.
Well, good.
I want to thank you for even saying that, because some people are too scared to even say that. That is the truth. It needs to be said, and people need to hear it. So you keep on doing what you're doing, you and your dad. I love y'all, and I'm supporting you all. So just keep on doing what you're doing, and I think it's just wonderful, and blessings on you and your family and your dad.
Thank you, Miss White, for calling in. And let me fix it. I didn't say it, although I don't disagree with it. I didn't say it. There was a caller, young gentleman that called in and made that comment.
Oh, well, somebody was saying it, but I know that was the truth.
Right.
That was the truth. And Reverend Barnett, your dad, I mean, he is, I don't even have a name for Reverend Barnett. Reverend Barnett says what needs to be said. I'm glad he's on the radio, but I think Reverend Barnett needs to be on TV because he is an apostle of them all. Me and my girlfriend were talking, and she said, Barnett, he's a Al Sharpton of Dallas, and we were laughing. I said, yeah, I think he is.
Yeah,
but,
very active.
I just think it's wonderful. When I heard that, whoever it was talking, that's the truth. And it needs to be said. You tell your dad I said hi, and blessings be on y'all, and I'm supporting you all, and I'll tell other people to support Reverend Barnett. Reverend Barnett needs to be heard. I think when we turn the TV on most of the time, we need to see Reverend Barnett, because he disagrees with a lot of the things President Obama said, but he still stood with him. We can disagree and still stand. I love y'all. May God continue to bless and keep y'all. That's my prayer. You have a great weekend, okay?
You do the same. We love you too. And thank you for your call and your tax-deductible pledge.
Oh, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right. Let's go to the line. Let's say good morning to Miss Kleberg. Miss Kleberg, line 4. Good morning, Miss Kleberg.
Good morning, Junior. How are you?
Doing wonderful this morning. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Where is my pastor?
Oh, he's out of town this morning. He's out of town this morning, taking care of some business and doing some things, enjoying himself.
Okay, well, you stay encouraged. I'm a member of the church, and I just wanted to call in because I didn't call in last week to tell him happy birthday. So I want to say over the air, happy birthday, Pastor Barnett.
Okay, and I'm sure he's listening. So you got it.
And I wanted to talk about the election.
Okay.
After the election, it really, really warmed my heart to see so many young people. When I say young, I'm talking about younger than me. I'm in my 30s.
Okay.
And it warmed my heart to see so many young people engaged in the political process. I mean, it was just totally awesome to see all of those young people engaged in the political.
Yeah, that was
it's a
awesome.
wonderful feeling.
That is. That's a great feeling. I think both President Obama and Governor Romney really attacked the young people, because I think the Republicans saw how President Obama won his first term with the youth. And so everyone was attacking the youth. And whether it be the Latino vote or the youth in the area, everybody kind of focused in on the youth, and it was very important that they voted. So, and I was very excited and ecstatic to see them show up and show out. So.
Right. And, Curtis, he called in, and he's very concerned about the gentleman being locked up in the Mexican prison. I am, too. And I know a lot of times where we can't come, I don't know if this has been suggested before on the air because I just tuned in, but sometimes, if you bring people together, you can feed off of each other's ideas. So maybe a meeting needs to be arranged, for folks that are concerned about this gentleman being in the prison. I'm very concerned about him being in the prison because I don't know if you've watched that show, Locked Up Abroad, and they talk about how bad these prisons are, especially in Mexico. So we definitely need to do something to get him out of that situation. And maybe somebody needs to get with Freddie Haynes. Freddie Haynes, he seems to be very active in the community, and maybe we can organize a protest or something, to get this gentleman out of jail. And I do appreciate you taking my call.
Thank you, Ms. Kleberg, and I really do thank you for calling in with your tax-deductible pledge as well. All right, let's go back to the phone lines real quick. Let's say, well, first let me address Ms. Kleberg. She made the comment again, we need to get together. So we could set someone call in with a day and time where we can get together and kind of bounce ideas off of each other. That way we can kind of get a good starting point to help this young brother get out this Mexican jail, as well as to assist and help with certain issues that are going on within our community. All right, so think about that and give me a call at 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893, and do not forget to call in your tax-deductible pledge at 972-647-1893. We need those tax-deductible pledges coming in. We want to keep this show on the air. When he comes back, I want him to see that, hey, this show is still rolling. So we don't want this one to be one of the shows to get cut. All right. All right, let's go back to the phone line. Let's say good morning. Good morning to Tom Gibbons. Good morning, Tom. How are you?
I'm great, Reverend Barnett. It's so good to hear you. I don't think I've ever heard you on your dad's show before. Did you have a wonderful time at his birthday party last week at Papados?
Yeah, we did. We had a nice time, but I'm not a reverend, so I don't want to take over.
I'm sorry. I misunderstood earlier when I tuned in that you were a reverend also. But anyway, you sound very professional. And I wanted to use your dad's show as the first one to call in about the election because so many of the other shows are so negative and so, just unbelievably disappointed because of the way the election came out. And you can be disappointed when the majority of the people come out and show their will. The American women, the Latinos, the African Americans, the Asians, and they're complaining about that. That's something to complain about. I mean, the day of the white Caucasian, which I am one of them, is over. The 500 years or whatever it is, the history that we've had in this country, it is over. Period. Over. The American majority are running this country from here on out. And whether they like it or whether they don't like it, whether they want to call people names because of their nationality or their race, that's their problem. It's going to cause them to lose more elections in the future. I mean, the way they treat the Latinos in Arizona and Georgia and so many other states, it's just unbelievable in 2012. Unbelievable the way that they're treating people. And this, it was supposed to be the greatest democracy on the face of the earth in the history of the world. I mean, I'm just ashamed sometimes to say I'm an American the way that people are treated. And I think your dad talked about there being a boycott down there in Mexico. I mean, it shouldn't take your dad, who's so involved in so many things here in America, but those truckers should form some kind of a deal where they block that area down there and say there's not going to be any traffic moved north or south until that man is let out of jail down there. And any day of the week would be fine for me. I'm a retired military person and a 35-year tax taxi driver in Dallas, and it would be great for me to meet with anybody and anyone in the community to do something about the truck driver down there in Mexico. I mean, your dad shouldn't have to be involved. The truckers should be able to take this on their own and do something about it. The truckers have a lot of power in this country.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, they do, and I agree. If we can get a truckers boycott.
That's what I'm talking about. Exactly. Yeah. And then they couldn't have any traffic going north or south until they let that man out of those inhumane jails down there in Mexico. And I'll gladly give my phone number off the air. I'm going to be down there helping with the names this morning. Okay. And any time it would be fine with me to meet with anyone in the community, and let's get something started with the truckers, because it's their problem, and they're the ones that should be solving it.
Right. It's a fact. If you mess with people's money, they'll get to moving. So
exactly. And your dad has got so many irons in the fire in his community in Pleasant Grove and all over our community. He's been with the school board. He's been with so many things for so many years, and it's not his really responsibility. It's up to the truckers, whose problem it really is their problem.
Okay. Well, we're still waiting on that date, place, and time. And hopefully we can give that on the air before I get off the show. A date, place, and time where we're going to all get together and bounce ideas. But Mr. Gibbons just gave one. And did you have anything, Mr. Gibbons?
No. I'm saying anytime I retire, so anytime is fine with me, day or night. I mean, I work, used to work at night, but anytime, day or night is good with me. And she's got my phone number and my address. I gave it to Annie, so anytime would be great with me, Mr. Barnett.
All right. Well, thank you for your tax-deductible pledge, and thank you for your call and comment.
Oh, it's an honor. I wanted to talk to your show first before any other talk show in Dallas because of your fairness or your dad's fairness.
All right.
Have a great weekend.
All right. You do the same. And don't forget those tax-deductible pledges. Please call in and make your pledge. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. And if you have any difficulty hearing us, you can log on to KNON.org. KNON.org. It should be up and running smoothly in a minute. But if you have any difficulty listening to us, please log on to KNON.org. All right. Let's go back to the phone lines and say good morning. Good morning to Dr. Edwards. Good morning, Dr. Edwards.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
All right. How are you doing?
Good.
Is this Anthony?
No, this is Junior. Marion Jr.
Okay. Okay. This is Doc Edwards. Listen, I was coming out of Commerce this morning. I couldn't get the station. I was on 89.3, and the lady was saying that there had been some trouble with the tower.
Right.
Yeah, okay. But I wanted to just I talked with Reverend Barnett about coming on the show talking about the Affordable Care Act. And number one, it's the greatest piece of legislation for all Americans, but particularly African Americans in the history of this country. But it's not going to work, and the reason it's not going to work is that there's a cozy relationship between the Department of Health and Human Services, CMS, the hospitals, and the pharmaceutical industries. Now, let me show you, for instance, let's say you have you go into the doctor under the Affordable Care Act. You have insurance. You pay your premiums, and the insurance company is from Connecticut. I live in Dallas, and the insurance company is from Connecticut, and they decide that they're not going to pay the carrier, the provider who provided the service, whether it be the imaging company or the lab or whatever the case is. You can't sue those insurance companies. So what's going to end up happening is that the provider is going to provide the service. The insurance company is going to stop paying the provider for providing the service, and then they're going to come back to the patient and ask for their money, and that's going to be a big debacle. And this is why it's not going to work unless there's some legislation where the insurance companies will be held liable for their actions. If they decide not to pay the provider for providing the service, or the imaging company or the lab or whatever it may be, it is actually it's a great idea, but it's not going to work unless there is some legislation, legal legislation, because currently right now you can't sue these insurance companies. They can not pay a bill. They can stop paying the provider, particularly the Medicare program. and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't get a court date. Most lawyers don't really even handle it. So the Affordable Care Act, as great as it is, all of the bells and whistles that goes on, the intentions, is not going to work because of that cozy relationship between the hospitals, the pharmaceutical companies, and the Department of Health and Human Services and CMS. I'm just telling you, because I've been out here, I've been fighting this for 16 years. And that's actually what's going to actually usurp the Affordable Care Act. I think it's great. I think it just makes the most sense that I've ever had, that I've seen in all the legislation, even from the Republican era up through the Affordable Care Act. It is the greatest piece of legislation, but it will not work unless we get some type of legislation where the insurance companies will be held liable if they decide not to pay. They collect the premium and decide not to pay. And so I wanted to just make sure that people understand that this is a great thing, but it's not going to work.
It's not going to work. Okay. Well, I'm sure Reverend Barnett Sr. will be more than happy to have you on the show. Been a great friend of the family for many years, so I'm sure he'll have you on the show real soon where you can talk about it and explain thoroughly to the listening audience exactly how it works. And again, I want to thank you for calling in for your tax deductible pledge and your call and comment.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, let's not forget those tax deductibles pledge. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. 972-647-1893. Remember, whatever's on your mind, feel free to call in. We're coming off our election, our local election. We're coming off of certain things. Managers of Manhood is having their walk for diabetes this morning at the ballpark. And if you want to contribute, you can donate anything, $1 or $2, whatever it may be. You can log on to main.diabetes.org to make your contributions, or you come out and assist and walk. And that is main.diabetes, or the number to call is 214-732-6270. And that's starting this morning at 9:30. This morning at 9:30 at the ballpark in Arlington. That's the baseball field park in Arlington. All right. Do not forget to call in with your solutions. Don't forget to call in with your solutions, your comments. We're up against a short break, and we'll be right back. This is Church Information in Open Forum, and I'm Marion Barnett, Jr., your host. Thank you.
You're listening to KNON 89.3 FM, Dallas and Fort Worth. Pledge now for the best radio station for music for 2 years in a row. Call 972-647-1893 now to make your pledge.
For a rich example of unbridled boss power in today's political process, hearken back to August, when Mitt Romney appeared on a stage with a group of Ohio coal miners behind him. "I tell you," the clueless candidate cheerfully exclaimed, "you've got a great boss." That would be Robert Murray, CEO of Murray Energy, who had previously held a $1.7 million fundraiser for Romney. But if Mitt had just turned around and seen the scowls on the faces of the Murray miners, he would have had a clue that they didn't quite share his enthusiasm for their great boss. One reason is that they hadn't volunteered to be there, but had been directed by Bossman Bob to attend. Also, Bob was docking them a day's pay for taking the day off to be stage props for Mitt's campaign. In effect, they were compelled to donate to the Republican. Such involuntary support is routine for this corporation's salaried employees who've been hit up again and again for donations to Romney and other designated candidates. Murray himself sends dunning letters to employees' homes, specifying to each one how much to give and instructing them to send their checks directly to corporate headquarters. Staffers there maintain a list of those who did as told and those who didn't. "If you don't contribute, your job's at stake," one employee bluntly explained. Indeed, Murray deploys his lieutenants to squeeze the laggards. As the boss put it in one letter to them last year, "Please see that our salaried employees step up for their own sakes." In another letter this March, he even named names of those he considered shirkers. "I do not recall ever seeing the attached list of employees at one of our fundraisers," he said pointedly. This is Jim Hightower saying, after Romney's great boss statement, he added that Murray, quote, "runs a great operation here." Yeah, a political shakedown operation sanctioned by the Supreme Court.
Yo, what's up? I'ma kick it with the line, y'all know. Yo, Slim, can I kick it like that? Here we go. Well, it's time to make that change. People of the world today are fading. All of us have our ups and downs. You better think about it or you won't be around. What we need is a little bit of love, sent by one from heaven up above. Chicken for tea is simple and plain. This ain't no game, you know what I'm saying? What? Yep, yep.
All right, welcome back to Church Information in Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett Jr., your host, filling in for Reverend Marion Barnett Sr., who's out of town this week. Let's get back to the topic at hand again. There's a lot of things going on this week. We had the presidential election, and Wednesday morning when you guys woke up and probably went out and about, probably got a lot of ugly looks. And a lot of ugly stares, things of that nature. Call in with your comment, and as well as anything else that's going on. Any issues that you want to talk about. Also call in with some solutions. We have a truckers boycott for the young man in Mexico who was arrested and has not been released in 5 months for making a wrong turn while doing his job. So call in with some solutions to this issue, and also a date, place, and time where we could actually sit down, dialogue, and meet and bounce ideas off of each other. This is very important that we meet. It'll give us the opportunity to actually get something in concrete and write something down and start this mission. I hear a lot of people calling in every week with great ideas, with great things that they are concerned with. So let's take a minute today. Let's take this next hour to focus on some solutions and what we can do, as well as, because I'm writing them down as you tell me. I'm writing them down as you tell me, and I'm going to give you a date, place, and time before I leave today. So if you're serious about it and you really want to make a difference, please let's try to show up at this date, place, and time. And if you can't, if there is a better date, place, and time, feel free to let us know. Let's get back to the phone line. Let's say good morning to Isaac. Good morning, Isaac.
Good morning, Brother Barnett.
How are you this morning?
I'm okay. How about yourself?
Good. What's your call and comment this morning?
One of the things you said earlier about, some of the solutions, what I think is that we as a people, we have to get organized. And what I mean by organized, I mean that we have to get all on the same page. I think when you do your research on, what has happened in history, two popular names that come to mind is Malcolm X and Dr. King. But I think although they had two contrasting views, one of the things that they had in common is that they had the media backing them. I think there are a lot of great so-called leaders in our community right now, but they don't have the media backing. I think, with Dr. King, he was able to organize, people through the local churches, but he also had the papers, he also had the television, he also had these various avenues where people that, wasn't at the church rally or, that didn't know him personally, if they wanted to join the bandwagon, then they could because they knew about it. I think Pastor Haynes is one of the great leaders in our community, but he don't have the media backing. Of course, he have his church, he have his online membership, but I don't think the community is really aware of what he's doing. That way, we can't rally behind him or whoever choose to be the forefront person. So we all know what's going on.
Okay. All right. Well, good. As you say, Pastor Haynes has a very big audience at his church, so he could move. That's his own media, right there within itself. The first thing you said was we need to become more organized. The thing with organization is we can't have too many chiefs. You got to have some Indians, some foot soldiers, and we got to have some people that's willing to come in and listen and just do the footwork. I think if we can get enough people to do just the footwork alone, and we get someone that we have enough leaders in this community. We have enough, believe it or not. I know many people say, well, we don't have enough leaders. Well, we need is foot soldiers. We have enough leaders. We got this station, Church Information Open Forum. that where you're the voice of the people, where we can get certain things out to certain people, as well as these mega churches. We have about 4 mega churches in one specific area, and we have many churches all around the community. And I'm sure most of these pastors communicate with one another, so they kind of know what's going on. But what we need is some foot soldiers, some people that's willing to do the groundwork.
But I would like to pose a question to you. You know, of course, we have all these mega churches, and we do have some people that are trying to lead, you know, something. But, you know, I mean, I think a lot of these leaders, they all have a hidden agenda. So in order to have a foot soldier, you know, they have to be able to trust their leader. Now, I love Pastor Haynes. I'm a member of his church. But, you know, when it comes to a lot of issues, you know, I'm just not sure if there's, you know, maybe a hidden agenda, you know, between him, the TDJ, the pastor over at Antioch, and all the other, you know, big churches, you know, that's right around the same neighborhood. You know, I think it's kind of hard for the people, you know, to follow a lot of those leaders, you know, because, you know, they all have their own agenda. You know, they're in a Bentley and, you know, I'm riding the bus. You know, that doesn't really make too much sense. So how can I follow this person? You know, how can I totally trust this person when, you know, he's living a lifestyle that, you know, I can't even relate to?
Well, do you have a minister in this area that you can actually say that you would be willing to follow?
Well, see, that's the thing. The whole thing about who I'd be willing to follow. Like I said before, I like Pastor Hank. When I go to his church, I really like what he has to say. But, I mean, you know, I don't really see a clear pathway to be able to follow, you know, him or anyone else. Now, keep in mind, I do like what he has to say. I think he has a revolutionary message, and I personally like that. But at the end of the day, you know, Pastor Haynes, he do a lot in the community. You know, I know they go down to Austin and all those kind of things. But, you know, I'm not too confident to where that, you know, if lives on the line, if you look at, you know, history, you know, when people were marching, you know, Dr. King was out there marching. He wasn't out there just making a speech. He wasn't out there that was just, you know, rallying all the people. You know, he was out there getting bit. He was out there getting beaten. You know, he went to jail too. And I think the problem or the theory is, you know, when it comes to sacrificing this, you know, this rich and fairy tale lifestyle that these preachers have, I don't personally think that any of them will lay that on the line to sacrifice just for little old me or people like me.
Well, in a sense, you're right. And when you mentioned Dr. King, if you remember Dr. King, there were many leaders around Dr. King, but those leaders were considered foot soldiers. That's why you didn't hear a whole lot about them. You had so many foot soldiers, and that's what I was talking about earlier. If we can get some foot soldiers and make things, power is in numbers. The power is in numbers, as you witnessed with the election. The power is in numbers. So if we can get enough people to kind of start rallying, just this past MLK Day, when they had the MLK parade and all that, we was near downtown at the gas station boycotting. May have been about 15 of us out there boycotting that bus station. But as the day went on, more people came, and the more people came, the more people got involved. Okay, and great things came of it. So, what I think we have to target is some foot soldiers, because I feel like personally, you know, I've had the luxury of growing up under my father, Marion Sr., and I've seen the work he does, and I know there's no hidden agenda by the way we were raised. So he's one of the leaders in this community that's been around a long time, and he kind of know which way the direction is going in, and one of those people that many can trust. There are many pastors around this area and all around the community, but what I think we got to focus on is getting one leader and having that leader have leaders up under him, and those leaders having foot soldiers as to get certain things done. Everybody may not have the idea or the solution, but if they have the power to be willing to trust and to be willing to do what's asked, then you got a great start. And once you start doing things, I think the media will come to you. You won't even have to worry about going to the media. The media will come to you. You get enough people. You get about 1,000 people walking down the street. the media gonna stop and look because everybody they're gonna want to know what's going on and how can I be a part of something great. All right. Typically, when you get a bunch of men together, everybody stop and look. Even if you're not doing that, you just stop by and you get about 10 guys hanging out outside. You got people that's gonna stop and find it, try to chime in on what's going on. Okay. Anything else, brother Isaac?
Well, just to kind of, piggyback on what you said, about the leaders and the foot soldiers, when you really take a look at, the history, black people as a nation were suppressed or oppressed, whichever word fits better, and the people were tired. So, you got a bunch of people that's all tired at the same time. It wouldn't be hard to elect leaders and say, okay, well, this is what we're going to do because we're all sick and tired. I think what's going on today is there's so much division. We as a people are so divided. We have a lot of people that really hate the color of their skin. When I talk to students every day, one of the most interesting comments that I've ever heard a young child make is to say that, oh, I'm not black. They hate their black skin. They'll try to attest to the Indians. They'll try to tell them how they're mixed. They make up all this stuff in their head. There's no pride of self. So when you have all these divisions, you have so many people that would rather be, on the other side. They would rather be Caucasian. They would rather be something other than what they are. I think when you look at the mentality of, our grandparents and parents, they were proud of who they were. The doctor that just delivered my baby, he said he became a doctor just to prove a point, because they were saying that black man, we wasn't smart, they couldn't do it. So he went to medical school at the University of Texas, which was an all-white school at the time, just to prove a point that black folks are good enough. So when it comes to an issue, what we're facing today, it's not really, too many issues. They've given us a black president, and people say, okay, well, racism don't exist. Okay, because you got your black president. Look, it would have never happened if there was racism. And, we practice internal racism. And, it's just so many issues. It's like when you walk into a room, where do you begin to put the fire out? The whole building is on fire. And I don't think that we are at the point right now that we are tired of what's going on, so therefore we can't unify. We have the Lil Waynes, we have all these, buffoons on television, and we have people that are tired, but they kind of like relive through these characters or these puppets that are put before them on television. So, the true question is, and I think it's sad that it's going to have to get worse before it could ever get better. And once it get worse, then I think the people will get tired, and then I think that will, begin to unify us as a people, which is, I think, is sad. And this is just my opinion.
Okay. Well, I do want to thank you for your call and comment. Thank you for your call and comment, Brother Isaac.
I appreciate it.
And just to piggyback on what Brother Isaac was just saying, I feel self-awareness through parenting is the most important tool that we could do to really help our youth. Self-awareness. I know that they don't have African-American history in school, but that's something that I think that we can dialogue about, that we should sit down and talk about and see how we can get it implemented. Again, there are power in numbers. So if you're in a certain area where the African-American is the majority, these are certain things you should push for. Whether you're in the DeSotos, the Duncanvilles, the Lancasters, wherever you may be, these are things you should push for. You have a Texas history, U.S. history. You even have French and Spanish classes where you take them. There are certain other classes you can take. So if we can push for African American history, this is one of the solutions that we can have for our youth. We got to have something in place for our youth and for what's going on right now today. So self-awareness. Let's go back to the phone lines real quick.
I just want to give you an update. We are at full power broadcasting again, so all of our listening audience can hear us once again.
Okay, good. We are back at full strength. The power is back on. So let me remind everyone, please call in and make your tax-deductible pledge. The number to call is 972-647-1893 if you want to just call in and comment. Please call 972-647-1893 or log on to KNON.org if you want to listen through the internet, KNON.org. I want to say thank you to Dr. Edwards, Tom Gibbons, and Joyce White, Miss Kleberg at the church, Oscar McCraney, and Joe Thomas for their tax-deductible pledges this morning. And we want to make sure that we keep our voice of the people on air. We want to make sure we keep your voice on the air. So if you want to call in with your tax-deductible pledge, remember, you're getting this money back. Tax season is right around the corner. So please call in. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. Do we still have Casey on the line? Let's go to the lines. Casey, good morning.
Good morning. I didn't get your name, brother. What's your name?
Marion Barnett, Jr.
Oh, okay. All right. You come from good stock. Good morning. How you doing, man?
Doing wonderful this morning. How are you?
Doing good. Hope Dad as well.
Oh, he's doing fine out of town.
Good. Okay, good to know. Hey, I was calling, man, because, I call pretty regular on the show, and my motto is going to be, the election is over, now what? Every time I call there, it's going to be the first thing I'm going to say, because oftentimes, we get all involved and engaged, especially presidential election. Glad to see our president was reelected, and we don't have to worry about that. He don't have to worry about running again. But beyond that, now what? The election's over, now what? We got a brother that's in jail over in another country, over in Mexico. Mm-hmm. A lot of people have talked about, well, once the election is over, we'll see, what we need to do to get him home. The holidays are coming up. People have a tendency to get into the holiday spirit, want to help others that they don't have a tendency to want to help earlier in the year. So before the Christmas carols start and we serve the turkey on Thanksgiving as we move into this spirit, let's have that brother. Let's get him home for the holidays. We get our troops home for the holidays. Mm-hmm. Let's get him home for the holidays. It's someone who was, sent over there doing a job, and now he's in a foreign country where people, he can't even communicate with his jailers. Mm-hmm. So, let's come together as a community. Let's do what we have to do to get him home for the holidays.
Okay, so are you close to this situation?
I'm right outside the situation. I'm talking with a couple of people who have been talking with the family and who are trying to come up with something. And from what I've been told, it's really coming down to a money issue because over in Mexico, they're known for for doing things a little bit different. I'll put it that way. And these judges, the more that they can get contributions, the more willing they are to move things along. So from what I've been told, what I've heard, it's more of a situation like that. It's more of a money issue than anything else, than a justice issue. And unfortunately, they don't follow the laws of the Constitution of this country. They follow the laws that they can, that they can afford to follow over in the country of Mexico.
Okay. So if we come up with the money, they'll let them go for a certain amount.
That's what I've been told.
Okay. Well, again, if you got any solutions and you want to dialogue at a certain date, place, and time, hopefully I'll be giving you a place and time by the end of this show. So, but Casey, I want to thank you for calling in.
Oh, anytime. And remember, organized people can beat organized money.
Exactly. Organized people. Organized. I like that. All right, we up against a short break. Please call in. The number is 972-647-1893. Don't forget your tax-deductible pledge. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. Thank you.
KNON depends on listener support to stay on the air. Now is the time for you to help keep this show on the air. If you like what you're hearing and want to show your appreciation for great community radio, pick up the phone and call to make a pledge. 972-647-1893. That's 972-647-1893. Don't wait for someone else to do it. Without the support of our listeners, there won't be any community radio on the air in North Texas. So take a few minutes to make a pledge. 972-647-1893.
Want to hear some great Texas blues? KNON has the CD for you. KNON's Texas Blues Radio Volume 5, our latest blues compilation CD to benefit community radio, sponsored by Forever Young Records. This CD features 15 tracks and 60 minutes of great original Dallas-Fort Worth blues from Tutu Jones, Blues Boy Bo, Buddy Whittington, Andrea Dawson, Kirkland James, Sonny Colley, Johnny Red and the Roosters, the Chris Watson Band, the Two Tones, the Rough Cut Blues Band, Jeff Stone and Charlie Love, Dave Millsap, Sirloin and the Ass Kicking Machine, Michael J. and the Paul Bird Band, and JJ and the Detonators. We're only selling 1,000 copies and it will never be reissued. Get your copy now at Forever Young Records in Grand Prairie, Record Town in Fort Worth, and in Dallas at Bill's Records and Rewind Music. The CD is available as an MP3 download at KNON.org. All the proceeds benefit community radio, KNON. For more info on Texas Blues Radio Volume 5, visit us at KNON.org. Get your copy now and hear some real Texas blues. Your ears will thank you for it.
J-Mac of KNON's Monday Evening Blues Show is celebrating 25 years on the air here at KNON with a big party on Sunday, November 18th at Poor David's Pub. Joining J-Mac in the celebration are his great friends, the Texas Slim Trio, and Jason Elmore and Hoodoo Witch. There'll be a free dinner from Vito's Brisket Tacos, Rice and Beans. The doors will be at 5 p.m. for an evening of some of the best blues and brisket tacos this side of the Trinity River. It's going to be a party you don't want to miss. Who knows who may show up and sit in? Tickets available now at KNON.org, Bill's Records, and Forever Young Records. That's J-Mac's 25th anniversary party with the Texas Slim Trio and Jason Elmore and Hoodoo Witch on Sunday, November 18th at Poor David's Pub, located at 1313 South Lamar in Dallas.
It hurt me so bad, cut like a knife.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm Marion Barnett Jr., your host this morning, filling in for Marion Barnett Sr. He's out of town and doing well, just out of town handling some business, that's all. This morning we're talking about the presidential race, that happened Tuesday. I know a lot of us had to take a deep breath when it was over. We was glad that it was over and ecstatic to have President Obama back in office. The Republicans made a real push to try to get him out, tried to curb some things to make sure he was out. Even after the election and he won, if you woke up Wednesday morning and saw the GOP had changed their stance on certain things, the immigration laws, now they agree and they want to do their best to try to attack the youth, the Latino youth, for the next election because they want to get the Republicans back in office. So please call in this morning with your call and comment. Also your tax deductible pledge this morning. We are still doing the pledge drive. And that numbers to call is 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893 to call. Call your comment and your tax deductible pledge. All right. This morning, Managers of Manhood is putting on a diabetes walk out at the ballpark in Arlington. That's the baseball field at 9:30 this morning. You can go to the website at maindiabetes.org. It's main.diabetes.org, main.diabetes.org, or you can call 214-732-6270, 214-732-6270 for more information. With this pledge drive, they're giving away a lot of good stuff. KNON coffees, umbrellas, plenty of things that you can have. So let's make sure we get those pledges in and you still get something out of it. All right, I want to make sure when he come back on the radio next Saturday morning that he shouldn't have to do this tax deductible pledge for next week. Okay, so let's get them called in, whether it be $5, $10, $20, $100. Let's go and get it in. And remember, it's tax deductible, so you're getting your money right back. All right, we want to make sure that the voice of the people is always heard. Okay, this is our outlet. This is our opportunity to show and come together and on one station where you don't even have to get out the bed. You can listen and chime in as well as dialogue. Okay, so give us a call, 972-647-1893, 647-1893. I want to personally talk about some issues locally in this area. We got a lot of things going on. Certain elections that happened Wednesday, and we woke up Wednesday morning with certain people in place, still in power. And we getting calls this morning about solutions. So what I want to do is just focus on some solutions this morning. Let's focus on some solutions and date, place, and time. I still haven't got that date, place, and time for anyone yet, where we can meet to kind of dialogue and focus on certain things that we can get done. The young brother in Mexico who's been in jail for, they say, at least 5 months now. Minimum 5 months now. And he has no reason for being there because he was just doing his job, driving trucks. Made a wrong turn and ended up in jail. So make sure we think of some solutions, some real solutions, a date, place, and time where we can actually meet, sit down, and talk and get these things hashed out. Certain things I know people want to say if you can't get in right now, I understand. If you don't want to talk on the air, you want to talk in person, this will be a great opportunity. Okay? I want to say thank you to Tony Morrison for calling in your tax deductible pledge. Actually, Tony's still on the line, so let's go to line 3 and say good morning to Tony. Tony, how you doing this morning?
Good morning. How you doing?
Just fine. And yourself?
All right.
Good.
I wanted to kind of put everything in context about the election.
Okay.
Number one is that to be elected at that level, you need a coalition, and you need certain organizations or certain groups to be organized. Mm-hmm. And I think as blacks, we don't realize that. First, you need to win your city, then the state. And I think the problem is we don't have anybody to organize. Like right now, the Republicans are right now starting, not tomorrow or after the election. They are starting to organize to figure out how President Obama won and how he got to know his voters. Well, I guarantee you this: you can ask anybody in Dallas right now who is going to run for statewide elections in the next 2 years, or House of Representatives. Nobody knows. Democratic Party don't have people that, okay, these people we have designated, are we vetting through the community to run for certain state offices and U.S. House of Representatives and Congress. And the problem is, then what happens is you have politicians come out and say, well, vote for this person. Now, wait a minute. It took you 2 years, and you have not organized. The beauty about the Tea Party is this. They organized enough to get people in who they wanted. And like I say, I guarantee you there's no one in this city who is right now trying to organize us as a black group. Number two I want to discuss is this. Isn't it funny that, and I applaud the Hispanic community because they're growing. We, as a community, has not really grown outside of 1960, outside this 13%. And part of it is because we're killing each other at rates that are beyond human measure. Mm-hmm. And the reality is this. I keep seeing it 13%, 12%. We're not growing, but we see these kids being had. We see kids are being birthed by single parents, but they die at a rate that we're not even discussing. And any politician that wants my vote in the future is going to deal with why aren't we growing beyond the 13%. And then they'll come and say, well, the death rate for us killing each other, and the birth rate. But yeah. So now I can tell you right now, the Republicans are saying Hispanic vote. When they mention minorities, they talking about the Hispanic vote getting their votes, but they're not even looking at us anymore.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So I want to add it to the conversation. I'll listen to the rest off air.
All right. Thank you, Tony, for your call and coming in. Thank you for your tax-deductible pledge. Again, a great point. They're not even focusing on the African-American vote anymore. They are targeting the Hispanic vote now. They're targeting the Hispanic vote because they're now considered almost the majority, especially in the Texas, your Arizonas, California area. There so many things. Like I said earlier, Wednesday when I woke up, the first thing I saw on the news was the GOP was preparing for the next election, already preparing. So the work started as soon as the election was over. As soon as this election over, the work started. The real work started. Okay, so we have to understand that after the election is when the work start. You know, we had a nice run and it was great getting everybody to participate for the election, but now the real work starts. So we have to make sure we are still doing what we're supposed to do. All right, and remember, if you want a difference locally, that means you have to be active locally, getting things started. We got to push for, I think Texas could be a swing state in the future. Could be. When I look at the numbers, it was 57-41 for Texas. And I understand we still a red state. We got a lot of youth coming up that paid attention to this election. But we want to keep that bug in their ear about what happened. Because now, I can already tell you how it's going to go. Now, the Republicans see that that Latino vote. So what they're going to do is try to cater to what they need to persuade their vote to come to that side. And so, because for the last 4 years, all you heard was how bad President Obama was and what he did to the economy. And that's the reason why you've seen a shift in votes. That's the reason why you've seen a shift in votes where people who did vote for Obama before changed their mind. Because for the last 4 years, that's all they heard. Now, whether or not it's not true, but when that's all you hear, and you're 16 years old right now, and for the next 4 years, all you hear, and you get your first opportunity to vote, surely you're gonna vote for the one who you know the least about, because all you heard about the other one was bad. Okay, so let's keep those calls that coming in. Call and give your comment, also your tax deductible pledge. I think we have someone else on the line. Line four. I think that's Tony. Curtis. Good morning, Curtis. How are you?
Hey, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, there is an evil in America that is not talked about much.
Okay.
Especially in the black community.
Mm-hmm.
Since 1973, we have murdered 50 million children in our abortion mills.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you bring it to 2012, every day in America, 3,000 children are aborted. 50% of those are black babies. 1,500 babies, black babies, are murdered every day in America.
That's just abortion. You're talking about the 50%?
Right, abortion. And then people want to say, why isn't the black community growing as far as our population? That's because we're murdering our children.
Mm-hmm.
You see, that's that. And the sad thing about it, the church is silent about it. Don't never say nothing about it. And it's an evil that's going to bring the wrath of God upon this country just as sure as I'm born. And I'm going to tell you one more thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm a black man myself, and I never dreamed that we would ever have a black president. But we did, and it's really a remarkable thing that happened, almost miraculous. But let me tell you something. Romney and Barack Obama, when you deal with these two men, what you're really choosing, you're choosing the least of two evils. That's all it is, because both of these men have serious problems, serious spiritual problems. You know, the Mormons, they believe, and I won't get into that, and Barack Obama supports abortion and same-sex marriage, and both of these men are really abominable. And so we don't need to get too excited about either one, because we just chose, we get forced to choose the least of two evils. That's how it is, because neither one of these men are godly men. One may be a little better than the other, but it's like saying, whether you want to get bit by a cobra or a rattlesnake, you get chose the one that you think your body can tolerate the easiest. But it's just sad that we don't have better men to choose to lead us. Right. And that's just an indictment on this country, and it's really a sign that we get far from God. That's why we don't have great leaders to choose from.
Right. Let me ask you a question. Since I'm sure you voted before President Obama became a candidate, but in your years, have you ever known of a presidential candidate that was very godly?
I I tell you what, not really, but to have someone that supports. Let me say something. Let me ask you a question. I don't know the answer. Maybe you can help me. I don't know the answer. Okay, when an abortion is attempted, I know that sometimes that baby survives the abortion. It's rare, but sometimes they do. If the baby survives the abortion, what happens to that baby?
Baby can't sustain living. Depending on when they took them out. Some people I've heard of having abortions at 3 months, and some people differ.
Sometimes the baby survives, right? Well, what happens to the baby if they survive the abortion?
I'm not sure. That's a great question.
My understanding is that they are left to die. See how cruel that is? See how cruel that is? That's cruel. But no one talks about it. That's inhuman. That's cruel. It's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the kind of leaders that we have over us. And it's a sign that we're under God's judgment. That's terrible.
Right.
You know? It's terrible.
Right.
To drill a hole in a baby's head and suck their brains out. And then calling it freedom.
Right.
That's what happens with abortion. Terrible.
Well, yeah, it's been going on for many years.
No one talks about it.
I think they kind of touched on it for the election, but it was more of who can get an abortion and who can't. It was more of why reasons to get abortions and reasons you shouldn't. That's a touchy subject for many people because some people, whether they be Democratic or Republican, they differ on it. You may be Democratic, but you may be against it. You may be Republican and may be for it, or vice versa.
And what bothers me, we got people who call themselves pastors. They support it.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of pastor is that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're right.
That's not a pastor. That's no man of God.
Okay. Well, I thank you for your call.
Jesse Jackson's in the Al Sharpton. Is that a preacher?
Yeah.
They couldn't have been preachers back in my day like that.
Right. Okay. Well, I thank you for your call and comment, Curtis. Let's go back to we're up against a short break. We're going to come back to the phone line. Just hold the line. We're up against a short break. I'm Marion Barnett, your host, and this is Church Information Open Forum.
Blue Lisa's annual Thanksgiving live broadcast will be happening on Thursday, November 22nd from 9 a.m. till noon, and you're invited. Join Lisa and special guest Reverend K.M. Williams, KNON's own Greg A. Smith and J. Mack, and Jackie Donlow for the live broadcast and Thanksgiving breakfast from the Alligator Cafe. It's happening at the KNON Studios, located at 5353 Maple Avenue at Butler in Dallas, and seating is very limited, so get your tickets now at KNON.org. Come join Blue Lisa, Reverend K.M. Williams, Greg A. Smith, J. Mack, and Jackie Donlow for this great Thanksgiving tradition on Thursday, November 22nd from 9 a.m. till noon for the live broadcast. This is a KNON benefit event.
And just added Kirkland James.
Tune in every Saturday morning for KNON Speak Up Saturdays. Speak Up Saturday starts at 7 a.m. with an expanded church information and forum hosted by Reverend Marion Barnett, a news and politics show for you. Then at 9 a.m. it's the Workers' Beat hosted by Gene Lance, sponsored by the CWA, a show for workers' rights. At 10 a.m., the Dallas Observer presents Jim Schutz, Get Off My Lawn with the other side of the news. Wrapping up Speak Up Saturdays at 11 a.m. is Lambda Weekly with David Taffet, the longest-running LGBTQ talk show in the country. Be sure to tune in every Saturday morning to Speak Up Saturdays right here on KNON 89.3 FM, the voice of the people.
Senior Care Centers Dallas Health and Rehabilitation provides 24-hour skilled nursing services, offers occupational, speech, and physical therapy, bilingual staff available, and has served the South Dallas community close to 40 years. They accept Medicare, Medicaid, provide private insurance, Medicaid pending. They are located at 2815 Martin Luther King Boulevard in Dallas. And on Saturday, December the 1st at 12 p.m., the Senior Care Center will host a community open house gospel festival featuring the Angelic Shaw Sisters, Us Three the Trinity, Deidre Else, Osa McGee III, C.E. Williams, and the Tones of Glory Gospel Quartet and Band. Hosted by Greg A. Smith. For information, Sidney Taylor at 214-421-2159. 214-421-2159. Hey.
All right, welcome back. I'm Marion Barnett Jr., your host this morning, filling in for the Reverend Marion Barnett Sr., who's out of town this week. Let's not forget our tax-deductible pledges this morning. The number to call is 972-647-1893. Let's get those tax-deductible pledges in. Let's go back to the phone lines and let's say good morning to Roger. Roger, line 1. Good morning, Roger.
Hello?
Yes, good morning, Roger. How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I appreciate you taking my call. Listen to your dad a lot.
Okay, good.
And he's one of the people I think could possibly help me and my wife. My wife has been going to school to get to work on her GED. She's a middle-aged person at this time. And she's been heavily discriminated against at her school. She's was taking some medicine that the doctor gave her, and went up to the school. And while she was there, she started having a bad reaction to this stuff, some new medicine that she hadn't taken before.
Okay.
And made her extremely short of breath and like gasping, you know.
Okay.
And the school took this as, they kind of construed it into a big lie and made references to the fact that the woman was somewhat of a crackhead.
Wow. Okay.
And kicked her out of school.
Wow. Now,
told her not to come back.
Did they? Was she drug tested at all?
She's a Christian lady. She's been under a doctor's care now for forever, you know.
Right.
Is what the deal is. It was like they were looking for some reason to try to get her out of the class. She had made some comments about the way the teacher ran the class and allowed the students to somewhat run it. And just singled her out somewhat as a bad seed in the classroom.
Okay.
Which can't be true.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is,
and we're trying to find somebody that can discuss this with us and possibly give us some help to straighten this mess out. You know.
Okay, wonderful. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on hold, Clint. We can get your number, name and number and everything, so we can get someone over to give you guys a call. So what I'm going to do is put you on hold.
That would be great.
Okay, thank you. Just hold 1 second. All right, thank you. Let's go back to the phone lines and say next call. Good morning to Mr. or Miss James Smith, line 2. James Smith, good morning, James.
Yes, good morning. I'm in Palestine. Listen, I appreciate all the work and your father traveling safe. I want to say some quick things as I usually. The gentleman just called in, didn't answer your question about was she drug tested. That would have been one of the first things, and that should be a procedure for her to be eliminated or took out of the school rather than just kicked out or something. As a procedure they should follow. Also, the gentleman that called in concerned about both of those candidates for president, their personal belief shouldn't come before the Constitution. As far as following the law, whether they, whatever their personal belief, just like ours. Yeah. And also on that truck driver over there, this company that own all those trucks ought to line up all those trucks and block that area over there and don't let anybody in or out in Mexico, and they can get some attention from the news, and then they can get some attention to that brother over there that's trapped. Just take all the trucks that company own and block that highway over there. You get some attention. It's just up to them. And as far as our families, the young men shooting and killing each other, our family unit has been attacked since way back up, the peculiar institution of slavery, and single mothers, single fathers. And if the churches, the preachers, and all of us come together, we could work out the family unit and put it back together. I mean, really get involved and get out there and visit these homes and find out who is single mother, single father, and who's on the street suffering and need some help. If we really be Christians, let's go ahead on and get out there and quit talking about each other, being afraid of each other, and let's really get out there and do something about it. It reminds me of the road to Jericho, and that's what Christians are doing these days. And on the other thing about, they say we want free stuff from the president. It's mighty funny that the slave master tried to make us slaves, and they took all the booty, and didn't share with us the 40 acres and a mule, but and now they don't want to share now, and the rich still don't want to share. And when they threw the chitlins out thinking we wasn't going to eat them, now they got the chitlins in the stores selling them. You know, they thought they was going to get away. And the last thing I say right quick, as far as the young people, our youth need to be in school and be on the student council and different groups like that and learn about government, and they can come on out and serve in the city and the county and school board and government like that, rather than just hanging out wherever doing nothing. I appreciate the sacrifice that I just listened. Thanks.
All right, thank you so much, Mr.
Yes,
Smith. To piggyback, Mr. Smith, are you still there? Well, I guess he's already gone. All right. It's a lot that needs to be done, a whole lot that needs to be done. And we're going to continue with the phone lines. Let's say good morning to Reverend Wright. Reverend Wright with Justice Seekers. How are you?
How you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
I am doing absolutely wonderful. The young gentleman that called you earlier about the little situation you had, y'all can give it. I left the number so you can give it to him. He can call Justice Seekers Texas, and we'll see what we can do about his situation.
Okay.
I hate I missed last weekend. I heard y'all went out and took the pastor out and had a great time, and that was good. He invited us over, but I was so tired up.
Right. But I understand. We understand. Short notice.
Yeah, I want to say this. You know, we were blessed to get the president back in office, but and I heard him talking about the young man over in Mexico, in which we're still fighting for to get him home, and by the grace of God, we hopefully try to have him home next week. But this year, the African American community needs to understand and know that there is power in numbers, and they need to join somebody's organization instead of talking about it. Be about it. I don't care if it's the NAACP, SCLC, Justice Seekers Texas, Taffy. They need to get involved with an organization because there's power in numbers, and we can't get as mad as the Hispanic community because they work together and they're being able to accomplish a lot of things. We have to do the very same thing, and that's not talk about it, but be about it.
Right, and Reverend Wright, your company is one of the few that I see around that's constantly in the community with Justice Seekers. Could you tell somebody if they want to join Justice Seekers, what do they need to do?
They need to give our office a call at 214-948-3893 or 214-779-3549. Brother Barnett, we're not a black organization. We're an organization for those who Jesus considers to be the least of these. We fight for God's people. And in joining the organization, we also make you a part of, once we solve your solution, then we want you to stay on our team so we can help solve somebody else's solution. And that's how we grow.
Right. Give us that number one more time.
Okay, 214-779-3549 or 214-948-3893. Or you can go online and do Justice Seekers Texas, the whole word spelled out, .ning.com.
Okay. Justice Seekers Texas. What was the last part? .ning.com. Okay. Good.
Right.
And I'll give that number out again a little later. Thank you for calling, and thank you for your tax deductible pledge, Reverend Wright. Thank you for calling in and making your tax deductible pledge.
I'll talk to him later.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right.
Let's keep it going. If you want to join Justice Seekers, the number to call 214-948-3893 or 214-779-3749 and get in contact with Reverend Wright. He's one of the few that are in this community that are active, that are listening to what your complaints are and doing something about it. Okay, there are many organizations and there are many complaints, so don't just be the one sitting on the sideline complaining. You can always be a spectator, but you got to get active if you're serious about changing some of these things. There's a lot of issues, and we need more than a few organizations to tackle one issue. All right, so we got to have something to tackle many issues. All right, let's go back to the phone line. Let's say good morning to Cliff, line 4. Good morning, Cliff.
Good morning. This is my first time listening to your station, and I do appreciate it. I have about 4 issues I want to touch on briefly, maybe 5. One is politics in the church. If to me, when you get in the Word and you see that Daniel was in an ungodly country, and God did not raise his people to be concerned about who led that country, he dealt with Daniel. Joseph was in the same situation, and God did not go politics on Joseph in an ungodly country. Moses was in the same situation. God did not go politics with his people because they were in an ungodly country. That's second. Okay, the next comment is the body of Christ, the church, to me is divided. White people took an approach towards this election, and black people took an approach. And all of us represent the body of Christ. And I've seen on both sides many people that were supposed to be Bible-believing Christian people taking sides and issues that really wasn't in their position or separated them from the body of Christ. They should have stayed in the Word. Thirdly, abortion. We run around and try to find issues about abortion. We make that a national topic, an issue. Do we deal with capital punishment? I mean, this same state that we're in now kills more people on capital punishment than anybody else in the world, but they're crying about abortion. And it's not that I'm supportive of that, but we need to take a holistic approach and perspective about what's happening and what issues we're going to support. If you're going to support them all, don't be led because somebody said, "Oh, we're against abortion." Sure, we're against abortion, but we need to deal with the main issue, and that's sin. We need to deal with that and the people. Then we'll change abortion. My other issue is murder in our community. We could deal with abortion. That's children before they even get here, but we can't deal with the ones that are here. And we make abortion a top issue, and the church claims this issue. They run with this issue, but right around the corner from them, young people are getting killed every day, and they can't even deal with that. But yet these are Christian, abiding people and trying to uphold some issue. And my last point is that I really think that the church has got me dismayed because of the direction that they've taken on this political bandwagon. Those are only issues that get black people caught up. We need to be coming together. We need to focus on God and bringing our people together in the name of Jesus, and let all this abstraction around us, let it go away. We shouldn't even deal. We need to deal with it. I'm not ignorant to that point, but the fact is, black people need to come together among themselves. We need to stop trying to emulate the person who's leading us down this road. We are always trying to be like them. We want our hair like them. We want our house like them. And we need to bring our people together, and our young people see this. Thanks for your time, and God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you for calling in. Let's go to our next caller. See if she's still available. Let's say good morning to Shirley, line 1. Good morning, Shirley. Shirley, you still there? No. Good morning, Shirley. How are you? Shirley? No? Okay. Well, let's just address the last caller. There's a lot of things that we should do. The abortion is an individual topic because it's up to that individual person whether or not they want to get an abortion. And what many try to do is address the medical standpoint to say who can and can't do it, as well as what doctors, if there should be a doctor to facilitate certain things. And the Democratic vote was to allow the individual to speak for themselves and allow them to make that decision. So, as the brother stated, there are many issues other than abortion, such as killing in the community. There's other issues to tackle. So, there, again, we're not gonna agree 100%. But what we can do is put an effort to come together to sit down and talk about to tackle what we can do first. Okay, all right. Let's go back to the line and say good morning to Shirley on line 3. Good morning, Shirley. How are you?
I'm doing good. You?
Doing just fine. Thank you for calling. Go ahead.
Yes, I was calling because I was listening to the news yesterday evening, and I'm almost sure it was on Channel 4. And they said that the young man in the jail in Mexico is coming home. All he need is $1,500, and he'll be on his way home. Okay.
Well, hey. I haven't heard that, but that'll be something great. Yeah, I guess that's what they were saying. We got to come up with some money to get him to come home, but it shouldn't cost him anything because, again, he didn't do anything wrong. That's something his company should easily fit the bill for that one. $1,500 to get him to come home. Now, did they say if he was coming home, or that's all they needed?
When he pay his money. When he pay his money.
Okay. Yeah. And what is the 15? Did they say what the 1,500 was for?
They didn't say what it was for. They just said, he had to pay $1,500.
Okay. Well, I'm sure Reverend Wright and the others that are close to the situation are handling it. Is there anything else, Miss Shirley?
No, that's all. I've already pledged.
Okay. Well, thank you for your tax-deductible pledge. I really do appreciate it. All
right.
Have a good morning.
Yes,
and going back to the tax-deductible pledge, make sure you guys call in and get those tax-deductible pledges in. Again, it doesn't have to be paid today, but it does have to be paid, and you can be paid back because it's tax-deductible. So let's show Reverend Marion Barnett Sr. some love by just calling in and getting your tax-deductible pledge, whether it be $5, $10, $20. Those who can't afford the $100, that's great. That's great. Let's keep him on the air. Again, this is your station, your voice. This is the voice of the people. So make sure you make those tax deductibles pledge, and make sure you pay them when you're supposed to. Okay, it's one thing to pledge, and it's one thing to actually pay. All right, so let's first make the pledge, and second, let's see it through. All right, the number to call is 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Get that in. I probably got 1 more minute to take one more call. So if you got anything on your mind, give me a call at 972-647-1893, and let's hear it. Let's hear it. Again, I told you before on the show that I was going to try to give you a date, place, and time. I wanted someone to call in with a date, place, and time, but I'll do it myself if I have to. Let's try to go at, put it at my father's church without his stamp of approval, but I'll put it at his church. Let's say after church this Sunday. After church this Sunday, let's say 3 o'clock Sunday. Next Sunday, not this Sunday, the following Sunday, which will be the 18th. The 18th, okay? So that's the day and time tentative. All right, let's go to line 4. Good morning, line 4. Good morning.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
Good. Go ahead.
All right, man. Just one thing real quick. Black people need to quit saying that there's something wrong with the church. I hate to hear people say that because it discourages those that are not in the church. God said the gates of hell would not prevail against the church. So there's nothing wrong with the church, but it's the church people or the church goers or those that are at church and not in church. God is on his way back. This is one of the hottest falls that has ever been recorded, and God is showing his people that he is on his way back. Now, I'm not surprised about all of the murder and all of this stuff that's going on because it said it was going to happen. So we have to be aware that these things are about to take place, and what we need to be doing is preparing ourselves for the return of Jesus Christ, because it is so close that we can't see it. It's sort of like being in the forest. Can't see the forest because you are in it. You can't see the forest for the trees. That's what I'm trying to say. So we need to band behind our church. Now, one thing that sticks out is that young lady in Greenville that got killed. You know what I'm saying? That sweet little girl, man, had the glasses on the TV. I know people seen it. And it's been in my spirit all week. And I'm wondering why there was not an Amber Alert. You know what I'm saying? I'm wondering why black people are not getting together and going down to Greenville or whatever we need to do to try to find out what's going on, because the devil is attacking our kids. And that's what we need to focus on. You can't make grown folk do nothing, but we need to protect our babies. And the only way we need to do that is to get them back in church and quit making people believe that there's something wrong with the church, because there's nothing wrong with God's church.
All right. Thank you so much, Rock. We're up against the end of the hour, so I thank you for your call and coming. And I want to thank everyone for their call and coming. Thank you for your tax-deductible pledges. This is Church Information in Open Forum. We have next Workers Beat coming up next. Workers Beat up. Stay tuned for that show, as well as again next Sunday tentative 3 o'clock at Heavenly Joy on the corner of Bruton and Masters. Feel free to stop by. It is tentative, but Reverend Marion Barnett will be back next Saturday morning. So please listen in. Thank you, and this is my time. Thank you.
You're listening to KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas, the voice of the People, voted Best Radio Station for Music 2 years in a row by the Dallas Observer.
Did you know that KNON podcasts all of its local talk shows? KNON has local talk, each show covering your community in its own unique way. So if you missed one of our great morning talk shows, you can go back and listen to it online. We keep the shows for 2 months so you can hear everything you have been missing out on. Visit KNON.org for more information about the KNON Morning Talk Shows podcast, also available on iTunes.